Welcome back to the Ross and podcast. I'm Ross Moors, your host, and with me again is my dad. So it is another Ross and Dad episode. Last week we spoke about change, specifically changing your career. Although the two of us have gone through physical change since then. I've lost a few hair strands, as you might have noticed, and my dad has lost a few kilograms.
Yeah,
So,
I did.
You did. But today we are talking about ADHD.
So Ross, maybe before we begin, a disclaimer from both you and me.
Yeah.
So I have ADHD and it's diagnosed, and do you have ADHD?
I have ADHD, also diagnosed by a psychiatrist.
Okay. So we're speaking from our personal experience, and then we will speak about our journeys. But neither me nor Ross are medical doctors or psychiatrists or psychologists. But I do feel, Ross, and I think you'll agree and it'll come out in the video, just talking about our journey, we also want to nullify a lot of myths that it's out there.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
No, I totally agree.
Okay.
Totally agree.
So there's definitely value to see it from our perspective.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think even the different generations of ADHD and how it was treated, when you were my age and how it's treated when I am my age.
Yeah, sounds correct to me, yeah.
Which is currently, but yeah. So let's start off talking about your journey with ADHD, going through school and university. What was that like 20, 30 years ago?
Well, I think, Ross, very different. Number one, I didn't know I had ADHD. Yeah, so, I mean, I'll be 58 this year.
I believe so.
I believe, yeah. So, I had all the signs, but it wasn't that well known. I was probably seen as naughty, Not that I disrupted, I wasn't like a villain in the school, maybe my teachers, but I probably did now. Maybe those who are alive, I'm sorry. But yes, I didn't, I wasn't like a rebel or whatever, but I had the typical signs, So if somebody really knew ADHD, then really well, I would have been diagnosed, and I was only later diagnosed as an adult. But looking back, yes. And it's a funny thing because I think people need to realize your upbringing and your level of intelligence also plays a role. So I'm by no means a genius, so I am not a genius. But let's just say I'm fairly intelligent.
You're above average.
Let's just fairly intelligent. I don't have a super high IQ or whatever. When you're that and you have ADHD, you'll probably pass school quite okay. And I didn't get A's back in those days. I think you can get a C and go to university. Times were different, and so my reports always said, and I'll say it in Afrikaans, then turn it into English, Reinhard kan beter. Reinhard can do better, So that was my standard report remark,
I just copy and paste.
Yes. I think they did. They couldn't because it was handwritten reports.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Our report card wasn't on a screen, Ross.
Yeah, before the personal computer.
Yeah, definitely before the personal computer, It wasn't even a punch card, It was like, I remember ours was green in the beginning and then there were a white card that folded and your teacher wrote it in.
No, they didn't even use a typewriter.
No, I mean, there was letters that was printed, like obviously screen printed, not digitally printed because it didn't exist. And then they filled in your marks and stuff. Okay, but we digress. ADHD,
We're going to go on a lot of tangents.
Yes. But anyway, so I got C's, sometimes B's, 1 or 2 A's, whatever. But when I got to university, even if you're smart, it catches up because the volume of work is just so much more. So if you're a genius, which I clearly wasn't, otherwise I would have probably passed a university, then you might get through. But I mean, and then you need to be probably studying something like pure maths or something like that. You don't have to, you either get it or you don't. There's not a ton of memory work or whatever, you know. So anything like history or stuff like I studied, psychology and sociology, where you have to remember stuff, you know, you're just not going to make it. So after 2 years, I successfully didn't pass, you know, and my father famously said, very kindly and lovingly, I'll let you know that he thinks I'm, you know, wasting the university's time and his money, and maybe I should pursue a different career path for that moment.
Yeah.
So that's sort of how I started. Maybe we can talk a little bit later how it ended, because, you know, it had a good ending, but that's not necessary for everybody. So I don't know. Yeah, do you want to talk? Should I talk more? Do you want to talk about yours?
Let me talk a bit about my schooling. So I am of similar intelligence to you, thanks to genetics. And, you know, married an intelligent wife as well. So
I tell you.
There we go. So
I'm married intelligent.
Yes,
yeah,
I didn't.
You're
I'm
not married yet. Yeah, okay.
Not even dating.
You're not even dating. He's
no,
not.
No. None of that. So I faced similar struggles in that I didn't have any struggles with actually passing things in school. So I went through the entirety of primary school without studying once, and I was able to get, you know, C's, B's, and some things A's. But there were, you know, 1 or 2 moments where I had to complete a long-term project or long-term assignment where it catches up to me because I keep postponing, and that it doesn't work out. But in the end, you know, high school came around, and the same thing, I was able to get by without studying up until probably about grade 10 or 11, where things got more difficult. COVID hit. I had to start doing school online, and that was an interesting experience.
For both of us.
For both of us. Let's just say that I attended YouTube in class at the same time, and the one that captured more of my attention was not class.
And the YouTube didn't necessarily have the same subject matter as your class.
Not always.
Not always. Yeah.
Sometimes, in rare cases, it did. But yeah, that was a wake-up call going back to school physically after that. And then they're like, "Oh, you missed out on all this content. What happened?" And so I had to catch up on all of that. Luckily, I did in the end. And then, yeah, I was still in a state of confusion as to what to do with my life. So I ended up taking a gap year before university, which rarely worked for me. Rarely heightened my understanding of the things that I enjoy, the things that I might want to pursue career-wise. And so I started studying the next year. And yeah, I too, I did actually study in university, which helped because I definitely needed it. And yeah, I think right now I have 1 module outstanding, and then I get my degree. So all's well that ends well, I suppose.
Yeah, but Ross, it didn't. You know, maybe we should tell the listeners, it does come with help for both
Definitely,
me and you. You know, maybe I should talk a little bit about the medicine side.
Yes.
Yes. So the interesting story, you know, when your children are small and you hear all the stories at school, and the mums and the dads, and they have so many theories about ADHD.
Indeed.
Yeah. Now, to the teachers and the parents, boys fidget more than girls do.
Regardless of whether
If they have ADHD or not. You know, and let's just say, you know, we understand the modern school system, and, you know, we can't make classrooms 5 people and have private tutors. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
But because there are 20, 30, 40 kids in a class, and they have to sit still for, even if they're grade R or 1 or 2, you know, normally boys were up a tree, you know, and now they need to sit. And so they're going to fidget more,
Yeah.
you know, so they just, it doesn't mean they have ADHD, you know,
That's
it
true.
doesn't mean, you know, so I think there's a lot of
self-diagnosis.
Self-diagnosis, teachers' diagnosis. And I'm not saying badly, out of concern, sometimes out of frustration. So, but let's not go down there. But, and then the stories about how to cure it. You know, I remember, I mean, people talked about, okay, take sugar out of their diet. Now, listen, I think it's good to take sugar out of your diet or minimize it anyway.
Yeah.
As Ross said, I lost a few kilograms.
You lost a few kilograms.
Just by minimizing a little bit of the carbohydrates. So a healthy diet is a good thing if you have ADHD or not.
Exactly.
You know, but if you're going to drink a lot of Coke and you have ADHD, it's going to get even worse. You know, okay.
Yep.
So yes, but that doesn't cure ADHD.
Unfortunately not.
No, because ADHD, and you can Google it, has to do with your brain function. And yes, if you have a light form from ADHD, cutting out sugar and doing some behavioral stuff will make a difference.
Yeah.
And we're not saying medicate your kids.
Yeah.
We're
Not saying that will necessarily cure them.
Yeah.
It is a chronic thing.
Yeah, and we have, and we can talk about the difference of medications and effects on you and on me. So but I remember when the kid, when Ross was small, I mean, the talk was they sit on bouncy balls and on trampolines, and I remember.
I used to have this like gelatin pillow or something with like a spiky surface that I took with me to school.
Something like that.
And then I sat on that.
And you're going to sit still, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
To be fair, I do have a far more tame version of ADHD.
Yeah, you have a less. So you're not
I'm not hyperactive.
So it's not hyper. So you're not attention. So ADHD is attention
hyperactivity or attention. What? Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Yes. See, we have ADHD. We can't remember the thing's name. You know?
Yeah. Among other things.
Amongst other things. So I'm on medication, and I take a normal, you know, counter drug for it, prescribed by a doctor. Yeah. So it's not.
So in South Africa. Yeah, you actually need nowadays the doctor to send the prescription directly to the pharmacy. I think it's called a level 9 drug or something like that.
I think
level 6. Level 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are barriers to it, and you know these things come with reasons, which are good for your health because it can affect you in various ways, from person to person.
Especially like for you, remember Ross, you. With the psychiatrist, because with you we have different doses, and maybe you should say what happened when it was too strong.
Yes, so what happened when it was too strong is it actually made my ADD, subform of ADHD, it actually made it worse. And so I was concentrating even less
Yeah.
than I would if I had zero medication. And it just, it made me feel unwell.
Yeah, you
in
were
various
like,
ways.
yeah, Ross looked like he's not worth it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people say, so that's bad, shouldn't give him. But we went to the psychiatrist and they measure you, they weigh you, and they decide exactly, do you need it? Yes, Ross needs it, but he only takes it when he needs to study.
Yeah. So for me, I literally do not take it unless I'm studying, or if I'm going into like a multiple hour work session, then I will take a small doses of this medication. And that's what I need. If I take more, I lose function. It would still have a similar effect, but it won't be as effective as a small doses for me.
Yes, and for me, I take it, I have a long-acting medication, and I take it every day.
Yeah.
But the point we want to make is it's supervised by a doctor.
Yes.
It's not supervised by us.
Yeah.
Or our opinion, and I think that's
I think that's important with any medication.
Yeah.
Is always run it by a medical professional first.
Exactly. But Ross, let me come back to the remember we spoke about the
Going on
spike.
another tangent. Yeah.
No, but the spiky and the bouncy ball and stuff like that, and how bad medicine is, and then a good friend of our family, he's a doctor and his wife is an OT, and we chatted to them once and we told them how bad it was, and we heard all the stories about the mums, and I don't think Facebook existed then. Maybe it did,
I
maybe it didn't.
think it existed. I don't think it was as popular over here.
Yes,
yet.
but anyway, you hear all the...
MySpace was still the
thing.
The thing.
Yeah, but I mean, all the horror stories. And this friend of mine said to me, Reinhard, how many peer-reviewed articles have you read on the effects of medicine, positive or negative, on ADHD? And I smiled and I said, nothing. And he said, so you base your opinion on the parents at the school, and he said it very respectively, or some parents at the school, whatever was social media at that stage, and what you read in the newspaper.
Exactly.
And I smiled again and I said, yes. And he said, well, maybe you should consider also, in all of that wisdom that you have, seeing a doctor or professionals. And so that's the route we took. And that's not to say that medicine works for everybody. It does not.
Yeah.
But please do see, professionals.
Yeah.
Don't decide it by yourself.
No,
I think that's the message. Don't listen to, in Afrikaans we say, moenie na al die spookstories luister nie.
Yeah, don't listen to all the ghost stories.
Yeah, or myths or whatever opinions out there, social media opinions. Get professional help because it's tough. I mean, and we spoke about me and you being not geniuses, but maybe a little bit smarter. And so it was easier I eventually got my degree and I have a master's degree, but even that was tough for me to do.
I can imagine.
Because I had to study after the first 2 years. I studied through correspondence, and then later had the opportunity to do a master's degree in professional coaching. But it was hard. I had to write papers and research papers. I remember I had...
And you were already a family man then?
Yeah, I was in my 30s when I did my master's. So it's not easy, but so I'm talking back to maybe your kids are just... we want all our kids to be geniuses,
Of course.
But genius is different, in different things. Maybe I'm not good at maths. I really am not good at maths. Maybe I'm good at other academic things. I'm not good at languages either, because you probably would have picked up 10 grammatical errors by now. but I'm good at other stuff. I'm good at philosophy. I'm good at psychology. I'm good at geography. Stuff like that. So what I'm trying to say, all children and adults are intelligent in different ways, and maybe that's mentally, maybe that's they do drama or music, or and maybe a shout out to Howard Gardner that wrote the book about multiple intelligences. If you don't know it, go and check it out. It's very, very good to read and understand that. Yeah, if your kid is a dancer or a gymnast, that's a form of intelligence, So,
I mean, I'm not capable of doing the things that they do, so.
Yeah, but you still have to go through a school system.
Exactly.
And so maybe some kids don't get it that easily. And I think to also, if you can, I remember, Rosh, you were at the biggest school, and then in your grade 11 and 12 after COVID,
I was in a smaller school,
smaller school, smaller classes.
Yeah.
Still a regular school, but the class was smaller. And did it help?
It helped me, at least.
Yeah. So I mean, all these things makes a difference. I mean, and I used to see a therapist on my, going through my journey as well. So that helped, Obviously, eating well also helped, It's not just one thing, But my heart goes out for especially children that have ADHD, because it's not just the academic thing. There's the distractions, especially if you have a high form of the hyper side of...
No, exactly, yeah.
I mean, and especially, listen, girls also have ADHD, but,
We're speaking from our experience.
Yeah. And go and look at the research. It's much more prevalent in boys and in men. That's my opinion. Go and look at the research. And so now, little boys at school, now they're naughty and they get in all sort of trouble. So it also has a social impact.
No, exactly.
Less so for Ross, because he had less age,
Yes.
But I mean...
somewhat novel activity.
Yes, but I mean, Ross, we're planning our school reunion in two weeks' time.
Yes.
And my classmates will tell you, I mean, one of my friends, we were in grade 3, and he would laugh if he sees this video. I ate up all his pencils. I chewed his pencils, I chewed the ruler, I was constantly talking in class, because now you remember, you click quickly what's going, you see the lay of the land, and now you get bored, and then you fidget with this thing, and then you talk to the girl next to you, and then the teacher says, Duitser, because that was my nickname, Duitser, sit still, and then you sit still again, I mean, and so it's not just a concentration thing, so there's much more to it. And I think that makes it also tough.
Yeah, I think another thing is, because spoke about the different types of intelligences, I think with ADHD, we become extremely good at the things that we enjoy doing, the things that we enjoy learning, more so than, let's say, the average person.
Yes, very much so. I would say very much so, because there is a hyper focus as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the so-called superpowers of ADHD is the hyper focus, where when you're not distracted, you're actually more focused than
the average person.
The average person.
Yeah.
Which is, it's nice when it happens, because you're doing something that you love, you're learning something that you love, so it's a great time.
But I think you bring up a good point, and especially if you're older and you want to now go and study something, right?
Sure.
Your form of ADHD, or if you have ADHD, will influence the success of what you study. So if you like it or not. So I mean, for me I studied a lot of stuff that in my day I had to write long, like sociology in the beginning and psychology.
All
and
those essays.
Yeah. And it, you know, in the first year, there was still what we called monkey puzzles, where you multiple choice. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And you can just remember, we didn't have a screen, you had to tick a box. Yeah. But in my second and third year in my undergraduate, you had to write long essays, you know. So if you struggle with that, you might struggle. And do you guys type now? Or
in university, sometimes you might be doing a written test on a computer.
And do you find it difficult for you?
Depends on the subject matter.
Is it?
Whether I enjoy the subject matter or not.
Okay.
So if I enjoy it, I can blitz through the thing and it'll be easy and I'll have time to spare.
Okay.
If I don't enjoy it, it'll be a schlep and I might not even finish the exam.
Oh, okay. So how do you prepare for, maybe put you on the spot, but I mean, you finished your exam, so maybe that's a fair question.
Yeah. And so sometimes I might not finish the exam. And that's, it's a struggle. So I just, I know I've done different things on how to write an exam with educational psychologists and whatnot, and go to the questions that you know first and do those, and then write the rest of them to the best of your knowledge.
But that's a great point. That, I mean, other people also helped you, and yes, you went to that educational psychologist to help you out to write paper. To do paper, how to write a paper and stuff. And didn't you guys?
That was a great help.
So you also got extra time, didn't you?
So in high school, I got extra time on my exams. I got 10 minutes per hour.
And is that still a thing?
It is, but I think if you want to do it in university, it's a lot more difficult of a process.
Is it?
So I don't have it at university.
Okay.
But if you're able to apply for it successfully, then it will help you.
Yeah. So I remember, because we went through the process with you, and if it is still a thing in South Africa schools, please, and you don't know about it, go for it. It really does make a difference.
Yeah. And you can do it on it counts towards your final exams as well.
Yes. So even if you do your matric. Yeah. And it is a bit of a process. And it must be approved by the government. So it is it's not just your school. So it has to go through an educational psychologist, and there's a lot of hoops, but it can be done, and it was done. So yes, there's another thing you can do. So I think that's cool.
So we now spoke about that whole application process, but can you tell us a bit more about the whole parenting side of having a child with ADHD?
Yeah, maybe I'll start with my parents.
Sure.
So my parents did not know I had ADHD, and they were still kind and loving. So and a lot of parents might be ignorant, but if you suspect something, go and find out. I think it'll be helpful. Number one, it'll be helpful. It'll be helpful as a parent to, get everybody involved. Don't do all the stories don't listen to all the myths, and we spoke about the different myths and stuff like that. Get professional help. I think get support. Talk to people. Make sure that you surround yourself with positive people that don't get hyped up by social media and wrong information. I think that's the one thing. I think it's also different. Ross, you don't have a lot of the hyperactivity, but with some children with hyperactivity, that's tough, especially with boys. So sometimes the kids can be labeled as naughty and destructive, and then have a stigma. And so there's a lot of behavioral stuff you might have to work with and get support with. And so I would say, that's needed. And for you as a parent, especially if you are like, what next? Get help. You know, you don't have to go on this journey by yourself. You know, so I think it did help that me and Jane, your mom and my wife, I'm not saying not everybody has this luxury, but we worked for ourselves. And some people say they're crazy with doing it. Listen, everybody's different, but it did mean that we could have more attention to you when you needed it. And listen, not everybody's in that situation.
Sure.
And that's fine. And also schools make a difference, as we said, you know, and we had there was an option for us to be at hostel in his high school, which we collectively with other people decided would probably be in that situation not the best. Because of the distraction and the doting. I mean, there's a great hostel, but it doesn't work for everybody.
No, of course.
So again, case by case.
Yeah.
I would think that. Anything else you want to talk about ADHD and stuff?
From the child's perspective, at least, I think I definitely felt the extra presence of you guys. I think it definitely helped me manage things, having you guys for support wherever I needed it. And I think another thing that definitely helped was maybe an outlet for my activity and my energy. I think throughout my schooling career, I've competed in various amounts of sports. And I think that has also really helped. Even, I mean, just like an average boy, I don't know about girls, maybe average girl as well, but average boy, especially going through puberty now, you have all this extra energy and not much to do with it. And so sport was a great outlet for that. And also playing team sports like rugby and soccer and cricket, it really helped with social life, and also it helped me feel a part of something, and it helped me feel normal in a sense, because everyone relies on each other and we doing things together as a team. It's not like, oh, it's that person's fault. You know, we all supporting one another, and it really creates an environment where you feel included and you feel like you can actually use your skills to, you know, support a whole group of people towards achieving the same goal, whether that be scoring a try, scoring a goal, you know, getting a wicket in cricket. And I think that definitely had a positive impact on me, especially with the heightened addictivity that comes with ADHD. Often does. And so sports are also can be played on a game, you know, like FIFA and those things. Nothing wrong with it, but Ross, you mentioned something about addictivity, addictiveness, and I think it's probably more prevalent. Again, check the research with ADHD. You know, you can get hooked on things. I've said to somebody once, if you get hooked, make sure you get hooked on things that doesn't bankrupt you, get you into criminal activity or trouble, or something that you're gonna really, really regret. I think you know, if you sit and play games all day long, you know, you're gonna study zero, and yes, maybe it's like. You might not regret it in the moment or in the afternoon because maybe somebody moans at you and you go, but you will regret it if you apply for something and you really want to do it, and now your choices are now limited because you didn't really study at school and you could have. And maybe your parents were caring or whatever. And so, yes, when they say maybe it's time to leave that game for now and tomorrow's another day, to listen to them, you know. And you guys were good at that. I mean,
You know, you made it to university and studied and passed
Fortunately,
and work hard. You know?
So, yeah, I mean, I was a bit of a gamer myself. I still am. But everything in moderation, as they say.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's just one of those things that you need to be wary of.
Yeah.
Is the heightened addiction and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I mean, even now, you're now doing bouldering and rock climbing, which has gone on a big boom as of late.
Yeah, I mean, for me as an adult, it works in my favor. So until the rock climbing gym pays me for the space on your channel for mentioning them, they'll remain anonymous. But great, you know, they're out there in Pardon Island and they have a big coffee shop in the gym. And so I would work there. And having ADHD, you know, you can just work that long. And then I climb a couple of walls, you know, and then I work again, you know. And so maybe that's back to jumping on the trampoline as a child and then work, you know. But
on the bouncy ball.
Yeah, on the bouncy ball, you know, maybe it wasn't that crazy. But I think you can do stuff that can help. And it's not just, as we said, it's not just medication. It's all of it. It's the medication, if you need it or not. It's the diet. It's the behavioral thing. It's the village. It's the social circumstances. It's the helping, like you had, and sports and. Yeah. So there's not one. Well, you get it. What's the thing called? Like a golden solution or golden bullet? Or I
a silver bullet.
So is it the silver bullet? Yeah, one of those.
That's the expression.
Yeah.
I haven't done English literature in 5 years.
Yeah, but there's not one magical thing that's gonna solve. Everybody's different. Yeah, and it can be frustrating, but I think, and maybe, I don't know. Is there something else we have to speak about?
No, I think we've gone on enough tangents.
Is it? Okay.
This episode.
Well, what we can do is maybe, Ross, if your viewers want to, they can comment or reach out to us.
That is a thing that you can do on YouTube. Yeah, leave a comment.
Yeah.
I do read all of them and respond to them.
Yeah.
And you know, what do they say? Subscribe and then
click and like,
click and like.
No, I don't know. Share.
All of those things. Yeah, boost the channel analytics.
And if you have a question, please do ask, and maybe we can speak about it and a different one.
I can refer some research sources.
Yeah.
If that is wanted.
Or address something in another video more.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome.
But besides that, thank you for being on episode 2 of Ross and another episode of Ross and Dad talking about ADHD.
Thanks, Ross. It was an honor.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Cheers. Hopefully this one recorded.
Gedaaie nou.
Yeah, it's still flashing. We have hope, Ross. We have hope.